Ndole Bay is in fact part of Cameron Bay. Here, at a distance of just a few tens of meters, the habitats change drastically, and a different set of species has evolved to adapt to it. Right in front of the beach, there's an habitat based on large broken plates of rock and sand. To the east, right after the large rock plates, starts a vast plain of sand. Further east, as the depth increases, the lake floor starts to change again. The sand gives place to silt and shells. At the north edge of the beach, the two harbors themselves have turned into tiny habitats, each with their own set of species. Just north of the harbors, the shoreline is filled with reeds and small boulders. Reeds also follow the shore to the south. But here there are no boulders, and the reeds grow their roots among a thick layer of silt. Sometimes the adaptation of some species goes so far that it makes it almost impossible for a fish to survive outside a tiny area. This turns these habitats into highlands, in which evolution follows its course in isolation from other similar habitats, sometimes just tens of meters away. That's one of the reasons why there are over 200 endemic cichlid species in Lake Tanganyika. 200 endemic species are surely enough to make Lake Tanganyika one of the natural wonders of the world. But it doesn't stop there. Each of these species has multiple known variants scattered through the lake. At least hundreds of variants are still waiting to be discovered. The rock structures in front of the beach are very unusual. They almost look like reef formations. These three reef-like rock structures ran parallel to the whole beach and are separated by just a few meters of strands of sand. This is a shallow area with a considerable amount of water movement. Cichlids are known as being aggressive fish, but for this reason, aggression is somewhat diluted here, because most fish have to swim and focus in keeping themselves stable incessantly. The large amount of fish that populate the rocks and sand are also a factor that helps the fish to live a more peaceful life when compared with the surrounding areas. More individuals around you means that you can only give a little amount of attention to each of them. Although at first glance their movement appears random, there is some order underneath this apparent chaos. That order comes mainly from one thing: territory. Most cichlids need territories in which they find protection, feed, mate, or rear their young. If nothing dramatic happens, most of them will stay there all their lives. Different species have different requirements concerning territories. The smaller species are happy with just a crevice, mainly for protection. Others need a considerable area filled with rocks to graze upon. Some need a small patch of sand to build their nests. Nevertheless, there aren't many species that risk living their earliest stages of life in this area. The constant coming and going of adult fish of all sizes and forms from all directions makes the survival of the tiny fry improbable, unless they are protected.